Hi everyone, this is Sarah Twilight and welcome to my show, Twi's Top 10, the show where I take a subject and then take 10 things from that subject and I talk about them. So today I'm going to talk about 10 of my favorite authors in no particular order. I'm definitely going to be doing another video on the subject of authors, but this is a good place to start and these are just 10 authors that I can think of now. So let's get into it. Number 1, Brandon Mull. Brandon Mull has written such series as Fablehaven, Dragon Watch, The Beyonders, The Five Kingdoms, and he's written 2 books, The Candy Shop War and then its sequel. He's really good at balancing a bunch of characters. Throughout his series, Fablehaven, and its spin-off series, Dragon Watch, there are a bunch of characters introduced, and he's really good at balancing them and making it not feel like too much. It's a really good talent for a writer, and I hope that I can be as good as him in this area. He also comes up with cool fantasy names, like Raxtus, Giselle, Ronadin. Did I say that right? I don't know. Those are just to name a few. He's just amazing at fantasy names. I mean, the man has a gift. He's also really good at writing fantasy characters and then having this kind of wisdom. The character will have a set of morals or beliefs. They'll have a set of morals or beliefs, and it's just super interesting the way he writes it. Number 2, Marissa Meyer. Oh my gosh, Marissa Meyer is the author of the Lunar Chronicles and the Renegades trilogy, as well as Heartless, Instant Karma, and as of now, I think that's it. By the time this video gets out, she would have written Gildan, and I'm excited to read that one. The cover looks really cool. So let's talk about Marissa Meyer. She is really good at world building and in-story politics. There's a lot of that in the Lunar Chronicles, in-story politics, but it's not boring. And it's really cool. I like it. And she's good at making characters' internal conflicts. In the Renegades trilogy, you can see the dual paths. Their inner conflict is really tangible, and it really adds to the story. Really, in all of her books. I've only read the Lunar Chronicles and the Renegades trilogy as of now, but in the future I do plan to read more of her books. And she's a favorite between me and Lewis. We just love her so much. She is good at writing the way things are arranged in the universe too. That's kind of world building, but it's really cool. So you can see it a lot in the Lunar Chronicles. Just the way she writes this futuristic world. So yeah, that's what I like about her. Number 3, Neal Shesterman. Neal Shesterman is the author of the Arc of the Scythe trilogy, the book he co-authored with his son Dry, the Skinjacker trilogy, the Unwind dystology. That's to name a few. The man has written so many books. I can just go on his author page on Amazon and just scroll through all the books and just read them. What the? Oh my gosh, this man is a writing machine. And he covers a lot of interesting themes. Not all the themes I agree with, but the way he covers them is just really good. And once you get into his books, he just pulls you in, just grabs your brain, and that's kind of gruesome, but yeah. He has a great way of putting interesting twists on everyday things. It's so cool. He is a master of writing characters that we will never see again. Through his books, he will do little chapters or snapshots of life from another character, a side character. We'll never see the side character again, or maybe that side character will come up, but he just writes it in such a way it adds to the world, to the story, and we read it and we're satisfied. If we don't see this character again, we're fine with it. We've heard the story, but if we do, we're fine with seeing this character again. He's just really good at that. Really good at that. Also, he is good at head hopping, and some authors they're not good at that. But this author is good at that. Take note, authors. Also, forgot to mention, if you're reading Neal Shesterman books, I would make sure that you're strong in your faith if you read his books. Just putting that out there. Number 4, James Dashner. James Dashner is the author of the Maze Runner series, the Morality Doctrine series, as well as the 13th Reality series. And I think he may have written more, but that's all I can name as of now. And wow, the way he writes this, I feel like I'm saying this a lot in the video, the way he writes, the way she writes, but it's true, that's something that catches your attention when you're reading a book, the way the person writes, their writing style. His stories are good at conveying fear, horror, loss, strong emotions like anger, excitement, mystery, and hope. Like, I've never reading the Maze Runner series. Like, that's the only thing I've read of him so far. I mean, I have the first book in the Morality Doctrine series, The Eye of Minds, on my bookshelf, but that ain't gonna be read anytime soon because I have a lot on my TBR and it keeps growing and I'm not very consistent. Anyway, he's just, you're drawn into his characters. They're just that good. I just love his books so much. And the Maze Runner series is always going to be a favorite of mine because of him. Also, did you notice the Maze Runner books have the word runner in it, and his author name is, I think that's just his author name, it could be his real name, is James Dashner. Like dash, like when you run. I think I'm getting too into this. Let's just think of that. Like dash, run, Dashner, runner, Maze Runner. 5. Melanie Cellier. Oh, I shall forever love Melanie Cellier. Those are my comfort books that I will listen to over and over. And with Esther Wayne, the girl who usually narrates her books, they're just my comfort book, man. I just go back and reread them over and over, and I love it. Reminds me a little bit of the royalty, like Hallmark Channel, like, you know, the Hallmark movies with like royalty involved around Christmas, except better, way better than that. So if you get turned off by the Hallmark Channel, still read these books. She has written the books in the Four Kingdoms series, the Beyond the Four Kingdoms series, and she is writing Return to the Four Kingdoms series. So, yay! More of my favorite characters. She's also written the Spoken Mage series. She's good at keeping the magic in her fairy tale retellings because most of her books are fairy tale retellings. And she's good at keeping this like Disney princess like magic to it. Her books are just safe and soothing, and they have this like great feeling, and they teach great lessons. Like, I think she might be a Christian because of the lessons that are taught in her book. It's clean. Like, you don't have to worry about it, but it's still like full of action. It's not like boring, because some clean books can be kind of boring, which is a little sad, but it's just like, she has great action, great drama, like great characters. I love her. She's really good, has good standards for like good romance. Like, I would definitely read these books if you're not sure about like what romance is, because they really like capture it. And I think more teenagers need to read books with the kind of romance standards that are in her books, if you know what I mean. Number 6, A.J. Marshall. She is probably less known. Like, a lot of the authors that I like aren't known as much, but I'm making this video, hopefully they'll get some hype because these authors are amazing. A.J. Marshall is the author of the Fairy Tale Adventure series, as well as the books Rook and Shadow and Lady Alma. I cannot think of the name of that series, and the book is too high. I don't know to reach it on the shelf. She's really good. I love her style. She just has this really fun, like, style that she writes her books in, and totally recommend it. She's also partnered up this one lady who wrote Leveled Up Love, or was it this one guy? She wrote this book Leveled Up Love, which is a really good book that I really want to read. I haven't read it yet. It's on my wish list, but you know, I'm bad at PR, so. The romance is clean, and the style is, as I said before, really fun. It really engages me and just like puts me in this nice, happy like place when I read books. Like the adventures that our characters have. There's pirates, there's mermaids, there's curses, there's jewelry that becomes weapons, and there's a shadow realm. Like, my goodness, I love her book so much. Me and Lewis actually had a reading race for 2 of her books. Like, we wanted to see who could read them the quickest. She won the first one. her book, Princess of Shadows, but I won the race for reading Princess of Secrets, so yeah. She has a wonderful way of writing fairy tale retellings, and she's good at writing banter and like it's really funny. Also, she's good at writing cute meets. Cute meets, I love them. I just love cute meets so much. That's creepy, but I really do love them. Number 7, Jrr Tolkien. This wouldn't be a proper top 10 authors video without me mentioning Jrr Tolkien, because I'm a Tolkien fan. Like, I have reread, or well, I should say listened to, because I listened to the audiobooks. I've re-listened to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings so many times. When I'm listening to the book again, I could probably like say the lines word for word. That's how I'm into it. I haven't read The Silmarillion, but I know a lot of stuff that happens in it because I've been watching these like YouTube videos, but that's beside the point. Chair creaked. Sorry. He is really like amazing. He set the standard for fantasy world building. Like, his world was based off of Norse mythology. I would have really liked to see him like base his worlds off of other mythologies, like see what he like does to like say Greek mythology or like Egyptian mythology. Anybody who mispronounce words like nobody's business. That's my excuse. He's really just epic. Like, if you're a Tolkien nerd, comment down below. Basically, if you're a nerd for any of these authors, comment down below, because some of these authors, I need someone else to talk to besides Liz, and she hasn't even read some of the books that some of these authors have written. And I need somebody. I'm alone. I mean, I'm not alone. It's just in this aspect, I feel alone. He's just, read Jrr Tolkien. Don't be like Lewis, where you haven't read them yet. Yes, I'm calling you out, Lewis. This is what best friends do. Number 8, Ken Lee Davison. Ken Lee Davison has written book series such as The Andari Chronicles, which is their fairy tale retellings. And she's also done like sci-fi, but I can't think of the name of that series. I haven't read it yet, and I'm not really into reading that, but I really do love The Andari Chronicles. Like, those are really good. One thing I like about her is her magic system in The Andari Chronicles is really interesting to me. It just has this like pizzazz, like you don't really see that kind of magic system like in a lot of books, which is a shame, but like everyone has their own like cool magic system. Hers is just really interesting, as I said before. Also, one thing that I like that I don't see a lot in books that I've come across is she isn't afraid to like put a wider age gap between her romantic characters. Like in one of her books, one of the characters, he's like 36 or like 35, and then the other character is like 23. And if you're reading this, you're like, ooh, what? No, actually it works out in the book. It's like, it shows that really like age gaps don't have to be like 2 or 1 year apart for it to work. It just, in another book, one of her characters is 28 and the other is 35, and it still works out. She's really good at just writing that, and I wish more authors would think about doing that, because there's a lot of like ups to that. She's also good at making her characters express their emotions or lack thereof. Number 9, Rick Riordan. Oh my goodness. This list would not be complete without Rick Riordan, because he's amazing, he's legendary, even though he isn't like Jrr Tolkien, who's classic. But anyway, Rick Riordan is the author of the Percy Jackson series, the Heroes of Olympus series, the Kane Chronicles, the Chase Magnus series, I think that's what it's called, and other books. And he's really opened up and set the standard for like adding mythology into like books, like putting a modern twist on mythology. He's really good at that. He's really good at making amazing and hilarious characters. Like Percy Jackson is one of my favorite characters on planet Earth. I like him more than some people I know. His books are really fun to read, and he deals with like learning disabilities in his books, like dyslexia and ADHD. And as someone who has dyslexia, I really appreciate that in his books. Who is going to be number 10? Who's going to be number 10? Drumroll please. Okay, that's enough. Axio. Axio is a newer author that I've gotten into. Well, I don't think she's new, but you know, for me, she's new. She's the author of such books as Rebel Soul and its sequel, Rogue Heart. And if you've read those books, please, I beg of you, talk to me in the comments. I need someone else who loves these books to talk to me. I have not met someone else who's read these books, and it's sad because I really need someone else to fangirl about these. These are amazing. Like, oh my gosh. She's also written this book, XOXO, and she is currently writing this one book, which is, I think, a retelling of a Korean fairy tale. And I'm excited to see that. The lessons her characters learn are really memorable. Like, the journeys they go through, they really, like, stick with you. It's just fantastic. I love it. She's really good at writing Asian culture, and I was able to learn a lot about Asian culture because of her. So if you want to learn about, if you want to learn about another culture, here's what I would do. I would find books set in that culture written by authors who know what they're doing and read that. You'll learn a lot through the characters and the experiences they have in that book, because that's what I did, and it's worked out for me. She's also really good at writing her main character's social life. Like, stick with me here, like, unless you are, like, in this bubble like I used to be, you have different social circles that you hang out with, like, whether they're coworkers, or, like, some people, like, at your church, and then you may have, like, another thing you do, like, school, or, like, your co-op, like, you have different, like, social circles of, like, friends. Like, you don't just stick with the same group all the time. I mean, sometimes that's the case, like, that used to be me, but a lot of the times, like, there's, like, other people you hang out with that, and not everybody knows each other, unless you live in a small town, or were like me and stuck to her bubble until she had to move. She's really good at writing her characters having more than one, like, set of friends. Like, for example, her main character, Jaewon in Rebel Soul, has, like, these two classmates he likes hanging out with, and then he has, like, this other friend he hangs out with, and some other friends that he used to hang out with that sort of has to now. He makes some other friends that he hangs out with. Like, that's just one example. Or, like, her character Jenny, like, makes this one group of friends she hangs out with, and then there's this other group of friends, and they kind of hang out all together sometimes, but, like, a lot of the times they're separate. Like, that's what I'm saying. Her books are really good. Please check them out. Tell me if you like them in the comments. I want to start a conversation with you. You really need to talk to somebody about these amazing books. Well, I hope you enjoyed episode 1 of Twi's Top 10. I know it probably wasn't that good, but I'm new at this, so please do not kill me. I hope you come back for more. I will definitely be doing more of this show, but me and Lewis have a lot of things planned for this channel, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope if you want, you can leave a like. You can subscribe if you want to see more of the things me and Lewis do on this channel. We also have a blog on our website, and I'll link that down in the description. Go check it out. It's really cool. And what else should I say? Subscribe. I already said that. Put a comment in if you want. If you're feeling like it. You don't necessarily have to, but please do if you want to, like, support us, because that puts our video more in the algorithm. So, like, more people will get to that. You know what I mean? It's business, honey. It's business. Please come back to more. Goodbye.